This is things you might not have heard. I'm Jay Payne to this morning as I produce you live 5:30 in the morning on Central Time in Little Rock, Arkansas. For you 8 stories that we have queued up from yesterday. Yesterday's stories this morning or whenever you watch this that you deemed as conversational, good enough to chat about. So that's why we have them presented here. How they got there, we'll explain after we go through all the headlines. But I'll remind you right now that our website, this is conversationproject.com, open all day, all the time, and our email address, the conversation inbox, gmail.com. Same as well. Email us as you feel pleased to send us comments, concerns, and any complaints, if you will. And check out the other things behind the scenes anytime for a better understanding about the Conversation Project. Some of the stories in the news this morning: Laken Riley, Wicked, and what you're not doing at Wicked, and Jay Leno, who takes a licking and keeps on ticking. He keeps there. We'll talk about those plus 5 other stories in the news that you deemed were good enough to chat about this morning. If not said so far, it's Thursday, 21st of November, 2024. We'll go a little long at the end of this because I'm going to explain some of the time off things we're doing in next week, but we'll get all the good stuff in beforehand so you know when you kind of tune out. Let's get to the headlines right now. Starting off the bat, because it's the darkest one. Got to get these things out of the way initially. This one that cannot be ignored, cannot be backed away. Just can't get away from it. Yesterday, Jose Ibarra found guilty of murder in trial over death of Laken Riley, sentenced to life in prison without parole. Jose Ibarra has been found guilty of first-degree murder of the 24-year-old Laken Riley, the nursing student in Georgia, whose death occurred during an altercation in 2023, I should say, on a wooded area with evidence pointing to blunt force trauma and strangulation. During the trial, the prosecution highlighted discriminating DNA evidence, incriminating DNA evidence, and testimonies from witnesses arguing that Ibarra acted with intent to kill. The defense attempted to shift blame, claiming insufficient proof of premeditation. The jury unanimously converted Ibarra after deliberating for 2 days. That is not true. That is a issue with the robot editor, and I should have read through that. So that's a mistake. What actually happened was this was a court hearing. This was a bench hearing. This had no jury, and so the defense rested fairly early yesterday, with calling maybe 2 witnesses, particularly with this one. And then within a few hours, the judge ruled that he was guilty. And a few hours later, he was sentenced to these sentences. I'm going to go over the sentences from memory because I really can't live with what this said here in the robot editor because sometimes ChatGPT really does screw it up. Essentially, he has one big life sentence without parole and a lot of other sentences that are going concurrently. And then there are some civil cases that if he were to get parole, if for some reason he got out, would levy on top of that. Most of the charges, most of the cases are all going concurrently, but since he has no real chance of getting out of jail, it doesn't really matter. It's not like you stack them on top of each other. And if he does get out of jail, there are a few that will kick in that will keep him in jail for longer or deal with those circumstances. This is a very sad case. This case, unfortunately, became one of the biggest talking points in our election because illegal immigrants and all the things, and Donald Trump with his murders and rapist things. This one sort of proved in the light of day to prove Trump's point from coming down the escalator, whatever, 9 years ago. In the meantime, we do have justice, if not some release for the family, Riley, and people. People are still kind of scared to go out in those areas around the university campus because of what happened. We are very saddened for this to happen. We just don't have the words for this. Like I said, we have this one, and our 5th story coming out of the break is also a heavy story. So there's no real great transition out of these stories. So we're just going to hit the button, change the picture, and go forward. Let's go on to the House Ethics Committee that had a report to release for Matt Gaetz. They have agreed, or to agree to disagree, not agree, or basically aren't going to release it. Although people want to see the report. The talk about the report is they leaked a bunch of stuff. So a lot of things that came out about this are out there in the ether. New York Times or New York Post, the New Yorkers got some details on it and started leaking some things out there to the public to see. The House Ethics Committee is basically not going to release the report that people want to see on Matt Gaetz. Remember, Matt Gaetz actually resigned from Congress a few days before it was time to release this one because if they did, since he wasn't a member of Congress, the Ethics Committee basically has no jurisdiction. Yet the report was done. Or so says the people in the committee. It wasn't quite done. It wasn't quite wrapped up. So there were some pieces left. So they really couldn't release it because it wasn't finished. the words they're saying. It was a committee which basically split right down the middle. So someone from the Republican side would have to jump over to the Democrat side to let this be released. Didn't happen. Everybody stood their ground and made this pretty much partisan along the ways. Now, as we said, many of the improper claims of behavior and these money spent on sex, or one way to say that, has been leaked out to various places, and so we have some idea how much money he was spending on sexual escapades, encounters in various cases. Doesn't go into detail about the underage girl part, which is what people really were looking for. Now, will Gates actually get his confirmation and be our new um, chief of director of justice, chief of the cop, the guy that's going to go after everybody? Chances are, yes. It actually looks pretty good. Do everything he can to shield things going on, and when it goes to a vote, he will get the vote. That's what it's looking like. Because this is not so much a test of actual a good taste, it's a test of loyalty. And this is one of the biggest ones, the big loyalty gets that Donald Trump actually wants. It's actually him, Gates, they want more than folks like Hedseth or people like Tulsi Gabbard or things like that. He actually wants to get Gates in because that proves the point more succinctly. We shall see how this plays out. Something that may be proven a point for Donald Trump as well, along lines of the fall of the news networks, the fall of major TV, is Comcast, as they have announced that they're going to spin off its cable networks, many of them, including MSNBC, CNBC, and USA. Now, it's a large bundle of actual networks, so it's hard to kind of get a handle on this other than Comcast wants to get out of the TV business and wants to get rid of the cable stuff and have them be rebranded, retooled, whatever. Even though CNBC and MSNBC are very tied into the network of NBC, which ain't going anywhere anytime soon. But because of ratings and the way the networks are treating the current or soon to be current president, again, that's a hard thing to say. It looks like Comcast is doing some things to jettison its way out of some of its responsibilities, some of its ire that could happen. People believe that the trip to Mar-a-Lago from Joe and Mika was actually a summoning or a pushing from Comcast to go make nice. People believe that MSNBC may be trying to find a way to diversify his assets because this is not working anymore on a cable news network and may find a way to rebrand or retool so there are a lot less of the left leaning side. We're going to have to find out. The deal is not done, but the spinoff would basically aim to streamline the operations and focus more on core broadband and streaming services, basically pushing more focus on Peacock and taking care of NBC, while everybody else is going away. This is a bit complicated. If it does actually get a buy, it has to be regulated, it has to be agreed to, the regulations going there. We'll see how this one plays in a bit. And a direct Trump initiative on mass deportations. You got to put those people somewhere. The biggest thing people are saying is, where are these people going to go? You're going to have big deportation camps. Where are they going to go? Texas has an idea. Texas has an offer for 1,400 acres of the Starr County ranch to give to Trump to build specifically mass deportation plans, plans, places. The state of Texas has reportedly offered up a 1,400-acre ranch in Starr County to former President Donald Trump to support his potential mass deportation plans if he regains office. This was put out beforehand, so he has now regained office. Offer reflects Texas Governor Greg Abbott's strong alignment with Trump's immigration policies, particularly around stricter border control. Ranch could serve for a logistics hub. They can just put operations there. They can put processing for undocumented workers. They can put up tent cities and hold people there as well. It's up and open to whatever Trump desires to come up with because it is theirs. Now, the land belonged to an owner who did all he could to block Texas from building a wall there, from closing things off, from being what they were going to do and doing the initial Trump plan. Texas fixed that by buying the land. So the land belongs to them. So yes, they can build a wall there anyway, but Texas is offering up to Trump to add to his arsenal of tools to work on this mass deportation. If he needs to spend stuff to hold people, to do maneuvers, it is up to him to use it. We shall see if it actually gets used in the way Texas. Quick break from the news to give you this stop for you to help us out in the growing of the Conversation Project. Today's a bit of a rough day, bit of a long week, if you will. We'll talk more about taking time off for yourself and for the others. In this case, me taking some time off so I can take care of some things, be better for you, come back after Thanksgiving. But right now, we need you to not take time off from what we're doing right now and help us push things going on. We hit some milestones in the last couple weeks, including true monetization. So we actually have monetization on our videos for just people watching them, YouTube ads, if you will. YouTube, and we're glad about that. It'll take a few days before we see what that actually means, but we're glad to have that. In order to keep that going and for me to ask less of you, we need to ask a few things in smaller cases, such as liking, sharing, subscribing to our videos. Whether you're on YouTube or you're watching this on Facebook or happen to see this on X, we need more people in our family with you guys. So we have more people doing better conversations, more people to engage in the videos, engage in the feeds. We'll explain that in a bit, and just be engaging so we have conversations, not just newscasts or monologues. Like the video you're watching, just like this one, to show the algorithm that is good, show us that it is good, and show other people that it's worthy of taking a look at. Share it with other folks who you believe will think we're worthy of that. They will watch it, they will see it, they hopefully like it as well, and we'll get more people engaged in conversation and of course as well. Subscribe if you have, because we give this to you every single week, Monday through Friday. Uh, Live version of this, and it of course stays in your feed. I can check it out later if you're not really right. Our actual stats tells us that the people that are engaged on the platform, they basically get about 15 minutes after you're done with the show. So it's a live show, people actually get a chance to see it, which is why we're early in the morning. Subscribe so you don't miss out in your feed where live we're live at 5:30, or as you just go check what's going on and see what's in your subscription box. We are there for you when we like, share, subscribe, share, and grow the conversation. Let's move on to our next story. Back into the news. Another dark one. We just have to get into and transition. Everything after this is relatively light. The Jay Leno one is, well, there's a little bit. Let's get through this one first. And it's Liam Payne, the One Direction bandmates the mourners at his funeral that happened yesterday. Liam Payne's funeral saw an emotional reunion from former One Direction bandmates, all gathered to pay respects to the late singer. Harry Styles, Niall Lauren, Lewis Tomlinson, and Allen were all there among the most family and very close friends at the solemn event. This was not anything public. This was for the fans out there. This is for people that were truly engaged in the life of Payne. Tragically passed away at the age of 31 and was remembered for his immense talent and a very kind heart. His contribution to the iconic boy band that shaped a generation of fans. New Direction was the largest thing at the time. You know, if you're of my generation, it's Boys to Men, Boys, New Kids on the Block. It's a bit of NSYNC. New Direction took this thing over and went on. Funeral services featured a heartfelt eulogy and performances celebrating his life, his legacy. Fans around the world expressed their grief and tributes online, reflecting Payne's profound impact on music and pop culture. Bandmates were seen together supporting each other in service, evoking memories of the strong bond. Despite years apart, it's been a long time since New Direction ruled the land, but hey, they still had those connections. And coming together for Payne's funeral was one of them. We definitely send love, heartfelt thoughts, and prayers to all those who attended and all those fans around the world still loving and grieving for the loss of Neil Payne, Liam Payne. So, if you're excited about the Wicked movie, wickedmovie.com, of course, coming out this weekend and are ready to go to in a movie theater with your Wicked t-shirts and your Wicked booze that you snuck into the theater and sing your hearts out just like you did at the musical performance for a lot less and twice as much because it's going to be split into movies. AMC don't want none of that. AMC movie theaters issue an advisory warning to Wicked fans. You are not allowed to sing. The theater chain has issued an advisory warning urging fans of the highly anticipated Wicked movie to refrain from singing along during the screenings. The announcement comes as a proactive effort to ensure that a positive viewing experience is had by all, and the film adaptation is beloved. The musical is expected to draw lots of crowds, enthusiasts, and of course, some people just curious to see what woke Oz is all about. AMC clarified that while they appreciate the passion of fans, this is not the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Singing during a movie could disrupt others in the theater. That's not the point. When it's to watch a movie, let the professionals sing, not you, Aunt Clara. Not you, Aunt Clara. The advisory has sparked mixed reactions online, with some fans expressing disappointments, F those guys, and others agreeing to maintain the quiet, respectful, cinematic atmosphere. If you're a person who's been used to going to movies and complain about, the whole and talking in the theaters, you don't want nobody chatting up, singing, and being, dancing in the aisles during Wicked. That's what's going to happen. Star-studded cast, including Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, is expected to draw lots of attention to the release. You singing in the theater should not draw those attention. Don't let somebody pull out the camera phone and put you on blast singing to the theater. Now, great musicals in the past, such as Frozen, which is the bane to all parents everywhere, and The Greatest Showman had similar requests of people not showing up and singing, even for the sing-along versions of Frozen, because they brought them back out there in the theaters. But the point is to have fun at home, sing along with those things, not in public, or you can karaoke if you want to, just not at the theater, please. Thank you. Your silence is welcome. If you're watching the video, this here picture is an awesome picture. And this is what I want to see in 2026, a caper movie with these four people involved. Right now, they have the time to make things happen, kind of get the works kind of gelled up. As Green Day, Lady Gaga, Jelly Roll, and Travis Scott are expected to hit the scene at Coachella in 2025. Now, the headline is that the the actual headliners and performers for Coachella were leaked, and they include folks like Jelly Roll, who was rumored, but no one knew. Also, Lady Gaga, Green Day, and Travis Scott should be on hand. This is a great lineup that will bring a vast array of music fans to the nation. This is a milkshake and bring all the boys and girls to the yard, if you will. For Gen Xers like me, Green Day and some older millennials, Green Day, who brought pop to the pop thought process to the punk rock genre. They may not like it so much, but they're rock and roll Hall of Famers, so they say, screw you guys. Lady Gaga, who was a transcending artist of the time now, with fans of all gauges. Jelly Roll is actually that's not Jelly Roll. That's Post Malone in that picture. Apologies for that one. Jelly Roll, who is an amazing guy, amazing singer, and is a great story. If you're not heard it so far, his actual story to where he got to be here. A man who is thankful for everything. He came to Little Rock to perform at our big performance theater, the Simmons Bank Arena, for a big crowd. Showed up on Facebook, put out a thing, said, "Hey, I used to play at this chicken restaurant at Sticky's. Y'all come down here and let me buy you out some chicken." He spent like $1,000 on people just showing up buying chicken. Post Malone probably would do something that cool. Post Malone can be in the movie, but Jelly Roll has to be there as well. And also we have Travis Scott, who would probably be like that cool guy in the background. But all these guys do show up for Coachella. It's going to be an amazing get. I'm not going there because I'm afraid of people. But this is a ticket for a weekend you want to be a part of, and maybe because Trump won it. Did Trump actually win? He went. He did a speech at Coachella. He did a rally there. I don't think he won, but we'll see. This is a premier music festival around the world, as music festivals these days are not quite surviving. If you're still into, crowds and want to hang out with folks like this is a caper movie I want to see in 18 months. I want to see this happen. I want to see these guys do something. We'll see what happens with this one. If it comes a movie, maybe just Coachella the movie. That'd be good enough. If they're going to steal from Coachella, that would be awesome. I want to see it. I like all these performers. It'd be a great time to see. We'll see what comes about in 2025 at the Coachella Music Festival. And finally, I'm not sure if Jay Leno really just needs to work. I know he's always been a guy who he was literally lived by Bill Belichick rule that no days off. He would work all the time, and basically his crew were like, "Hey, we kind of need time off because it's Christmas." Jay Leno won't not work if he has a chance to work. Here's a chance where he probably should have took the day off, as this is his third physical altercation essentially with himself. Jay Leno falls down a 60-foot hill, performs show hours later. If you're looking at the video, you see the blackened face, and when he went to actually perform, he actually wore an eye patch to kind of protect his eye and eyesight. But the comedian survived a big fall down a 60-foot hill, and then went to do a comedy show a few hours later. It occurred while he was walking near his home, and he lost his footing, tumbling down a very steep slope. 60 feet is very steep. Leno managed to make it to the venue in time for performance, where he delivered his usual comedy set with a astonished audience. The veteran entertainer, known for his resilience, joked about the fall during the show, fresh material, I guess, brushing off concerns to his health. Fans praised his dedication and ability to turn even personal mishap into humor. Some people were a little freaked out. A lot of people were more than a little freaked out. Of course, there was a garage fire in 2022, and he had another fall some there. So these things keep happening to Jay Leno. Not sure if people actually have a vendetta. Maybe he was pushed. I don't know. Jay Leno seems to be in places where he gets hurt a lot and then shows up for work. I'm not sure if he's hurting for work or he just needs it in his being to do that. But Jay Leno, I guess we got you, man. We got you. But you can take a few days off. It is okay. Let's go to our teaser section, teaser story. This headline story is something that's in the works, in the feeds, ready to go for you to possibly do. We're teasing it for you to go check out the feeds and understand how that works. What are the feeds? You may ask yourself, or you may ask it to Ether because I can't actually hear you. And if I heard you, I would say the feeds. The feeds are our links on Facebook, our links on X, our links on Threads. Threads a little, but we're there as well. We're also on Blue Sky, but we can't really do much. We can't send to Blue Sky, so we can't send them ahead of time like we do everything else. But on our feeds, facebook.com/this conversation project, conversation, and threads.net/at this conversation. We post news articles every 50 minutes from various sources around the internet, all over the places. It's all there. It's all about you guys seeing those stories. And as you see those stories, we want you to tell us some stories are conversational. That's how we get the conversation project. You engage in the stories, and if you tell us a story is worthy of chatting up, it sometimes it takes a while for you to engage in the videos we have here as we put up there. But for the stories and headlines, when we get into the videos, you give us the green light to go for them. Tomorrow for Friday, like we did Tuesday through Thursday, today, we're going to take 15, 16 stories from top half of stories that we have in a day. Get about 30 stories a day. So take the top half, and we pick 8 of those stories to present to you that fill the best narrative or are some of the most important, or sometimes are so just out there in responses. The response for the Laken Riley murder trial, we actually put 2 posts out there. One when he was found guilty, and another one when they actually was sentenced. Everything was so fast. We put it out there so we had the right updated news. And those 2 were some of the highest regarded engaging stories today. Also engaging very well yesterday, oddly enough, singing in the theater with Wicked, because I think a lot of people think they're going to sing in the theater with Wicked. They will find out. But this is a story headline that we're posting in this morning. We'll go live in about 20 minutes after I'm done doing this live recording. So we'll be there all day for you to find it. But we post from various sources, various news articles, various different headlines, and you just engage by liking, hating, sharing, reading, doing what you can to click on the link and do things to the link. The higher the engagement gets, better chance you're able to talk about it. Police report reveals new details from sexual assault allegations against Trump's defense secretary nominee. Yeah, he's still in the news. The article about the person who has signed the NDA not talking, but other people bring up ideas, and this may tank this actual nomination. Although Trump kind of likes him too. We'll see what goes on that one. What we teased yesterday was his headline was Michigan Arab American voters concerned about Trump's picks for key positions. It did not get quite the love that it needed. It wasn't even there. It wasn't even in the top half of the stories. Sometimes we hit, sometimes we miss. Is this one a hit tomorrow? You let us know by your engagement with the story throughout the day. Today. Our sponsor for today is AppSumo. AppSumo has another 24 hours going for its second drop for Black Friday deals. Black Friday deals for AppSumo for apps, for tools, for website subscriptions that you're already getting more or less discounted, and pretty much most of them are lifetime deals. Get an extra 10% off these next drop of stats here. So check out the newer batches from this week and more drops this week as well. The second drop went live yesterday, so we got another 28 hours or so to get in them. Now, AppSumo is going to get you great deals on great products that will help save your life, save your business life, and save your sanity going forward. They are tools that are things that you've been trying to get for a long time or just didn't know you needed, things that will help you out that are at discounted prices because you think it costs too much for these tools because you want to get the big boy tools. These are tools from smaller competitors, people who are trying to either break into the market with something slightly new, something a little bit different, or folks who have been there for a while that just need a little bit of extra cash to get things going, to get things solid. And they're going to offer you up a deal to get some influx of cash so they can do things and grow on their actual platforms. And the biggest thing is you're paying for a lifetime subscription. You're paying for use of these deals, these tools, these websites for so you pay for it, you get it all the time. I have plenty of lifetime deals from absolutely for over a decade. So it's not a bad thing. Check it out by using our link at this. It's a conversationproject.com/AppSumo. This is a conversationproject.com/AppSumo. Our affiliate link gets us a small commission for you buying from them. You're already saving money from using their materials, and an extra 10% off you get with their Black Friday drop deal. So check it out today. Get with AppSumo and tell Uncle Noah that we said, hey, this is conversationproject.com/AppSumo. Check them out today. Very quick check-in with us because we're going a little long, and I wanted to do some actual talk about this, but we're gonna kind of screw through it. Next week for Thanksgiving week, we're going to take the week off of this show, the Things You Might Not Have Heard show. We're going to pre-record if we can get some things set up, some things for the other show, which is Things You Might ought to know, because that's stuff that's set ahead of time. We know birthdays, anniversaries, a week or two ahead of time based on our service. So we're going to pre-record some things that we'll do some news drops as things happen. We'll do some handheld videos on some news reports that things are popping because the news doesn't stop. This won't be literally here. I'm gonna tear down the studio this weekend to rebuild it with the new stuff that we've got. And thank you so much for all your help and support to help us get new stuff. And then I'm taking a week to both test some things and to try to relax. Once we reached our milestone, 4,000 watch hours in the years worth of time for YouTube, excuse me, we deserve a break, and Thanksgiving week is a great time to take breaks. We spend the time away from the computer for a bit, away from the computer at work. I'm taking the week off from there as well, and just sort of chilling. Now, the way I work, that means chilling means I'll probably do some retooling some stuff, do some extra writing, and catch up on some other projects that got knocked to the wayside as we've got to focus on this thing for a while because this became an obsession, and have some newer, refresh things going on. Oddly enough, rest looks a lot like work. It looks a lot like editing, like writing, a lot like research. It's quiet, it's tranquil. I can listen to some nice soft Green Day in the background. Well, they're not really soft, but while I do some work going on. So that's what's gonna happen next week. A lot of resting and work and a whole bunch of turkey and a lot of football towards the end. We will see how that plays out with football. Fantasy football teams. Terrible. But for you, all that to say, the conversation project is not going away. We're just going to take a quick hiatus of some actual big news stuff. So it won't be as detailed, won't be as structured for a week. But that does not mean we're going away. We need you to stick around and hang on and see what's going on. And check us out every so often to see what we're playing with. We'll give you some sneak peeks as I get a chance to get good internet. Internet's really bad. Parents live out in live in the middle of the woods. So internet's a little spotty sometimes. So that's why we're going to basically take it down for the week. Otherwise, check out our website. This is theconversationproject.com. Visit us via the email machine, theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Let us know what we're doing. Follow us on our feeds. Check out our sponsors. Consider being a partner. This will be a week to kind of go through some of our archives at our website and see what it is that we do for you and learn more about our story. I'll probably rewrite our origin story 3 or 4 times throughout the week just from needing to do something. So you'll see more about how we got to be where we are, what we do here, the value of the conversation project, if you will. With that, we are going to give you the value of a few minutes of time because we have to click a couple buttons, switch some things around, and give you things you might not have heard. I'm sorry, things you might want to know after this. So, in order to do that, we're wrapping this one up. Thank you so much for anybody who popped up and watched us live this morning because we really do need that live juice to kind of keep us going. And feel free to comment on news stories. It gets really awkward when I try to comment in real time with the scripts and I stop my flow. But hey, I do awkward fairly well. Make sure you're following us on our feeds. Consider being a partner and be here tomorrow. We'll have a great show tomorrow to wrap up going into the Thanksgiving week and some more time to talk about what I may be doing next week, things I'm planning on doing this week. I've got, a little time in my hands and a lot of video cameras and a lot of tech to test. So with that, we'll be testing some things, playing out and posting articles, not quite as frequently, but as we can to make sure that we're all still engaged in things. Love you guys. Mean it so much. We'll see you again tomorrow.